Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube, TikTok, and the various groups from around the world subsequently. We welcome Lord Ram on this, the 4th day of our Ram Naumi celebrations, and a special welcome to Prince Hlathikhulu, the king-in-waiting of the Sun nation, both nationally and internationally. We've had the privilege to be in the presence of the Prince quite often recently, and in proportion to his visits at the ashram is the progress that is happening on the outside in terms of our memorandum of agreement that we signed a few weeks ago. So today was an eventful day. Prince's mornings are getting earlier and earlier. You know, as a king, he's supposed to get up at 10, I think. I don't know what time kings get up. We have to do a small research. But after he met the Guru, there's very little sleep. And there's quite a few early awakenings. And today was one of the days of early awakenings. I think he got up at 6 and he had to make his way to Durban. Today was also the introduction of the Provincial Council of the Build One South Africa political organization, and there was I think 2 media briefings. So we are quite tired from jumping from spirituality to politics and back into spirituality. This is all in a day's work for the Guru. I don't know if the king will be able to manage all of this work, Prince. That being said, I think we had Prince met our President, Musi Maimani, and again, more doors opened. We spoke to a reporter of ETV, and I think next week he's going to do an exposure at the ashram on all our concerns regarding the Sun nation. So we are moving at lightning speed because we have put God first. And when you put God first, then everything else is simply by the way. So I told Prince that I'm going to make him happy today in this discourse, and I will conclude to his consciousness the link between his mum and his dad symbolically. The link between his mum and dad is symbolic. The behind his mum and dad is the link between the Sun community and Sanatan Dharma. So today I want to establish the link, and as I preached all my life and continue to preach, my preachings are on the scientific level, which means that you use logic and common sense. 1 plus 1 must equal to 2. Yet we're going back millions and millions of years to get to this understanding. As I've stated yesterday, that the Sun tribe are descendants of Lord Hanuman. So I want to take some spiritual license here and explain that the Sun tribe were never monkeys, and Hanuman Baba was never a monkey. Over the years, it has been stated that Hanuman Baba has a tail. And I want to clear all of these confusions. In India, currently at this point in time, there are people that still continue this age-old tradition of wearing dhotis with a tail hanging from the back. Wearing dhotis with a tail hanging from the back. That tail is not part of the body, it's part of the dhoti. You all know, especially us Indians, you all know the word gossip. Have you all heard the word gossip? How many of you are guilty of gossip? All of us? Gossip means taking a tail, there's a pun on the word, taking a tail and tailoring it. Gossip means taking a tail and tailoring it. Premila, can anyone accuse you of tailoring a tail? Premila, can anyone in this world accuse you of tailoring a tail? See how your brother is looking at you. So you understand how the tail got tailored into the tail of Hanuman Baba. All of you understand? So, in the San custom or San religion or San civilization, Hanuman Baba is called Hlathikhulu, and the prince is the single living bloodline that connects himself to the descendants of Hanuman Baba, the very first descendant of Hanuman Baba, 2 million years ago. He is the last or the only bloodline link in this trail leading back 2 million years. So, there are many variables in this beautiful journey. There are many variables in this beautiful journey. But then, from the Guru's perspective, I need to unpack it so that it can be assimilated logically into your understanding. 2 million is too far back. You all can't remember what you all had for supper 3 days ago. Who can remember? Pramila? What you had for supper 3 days ago? Chicken, fish, or trotters? You understand? So I made a few declarations in this week. I said the San tribe is the oldest known community in the world. You all remember? Then I said 20,000, their existence goes back 20,000 years in South Africa, and at that point in time they were the largest known community 20,000 years ago. How big you think they would have been 2 million years ago? Then let us unpack with history. The Vedas, the Rig Veda, is the oldest scripture known to mankind currently in existence today. Yes or no? What language was the Rig Veda written in? Sanskrit. Then we need to apply logic. If the San tribe or the San nation is the oldest nation and Sanskrit is the oldest language and the Rig Veda is the oldest scripture, 1 plus 1 will give you 1 plus 1 will give you 2. Again, you can't find this on Google. You can only find it on Guru's Google. On Guru's Google. This is a world first declaration. This is a world first declaration. Let me unpack further. So let us use the language of Sanskrit. And I made this declaration a few days ago where I said Sanskrit does not mean Hinduism. Hinduism do not own that language called Sanskrit. Sanskrit was spoken by the Supreme Lord and the 330 million cosmic administrators. The Supreme Lord belonged to all. The cosmic administrators belong to all. This universe belongs to all. Sanskriti. Have you heard of the word Sanskriti? Anyone heard of the word Sanskriti? What does it mean? What it means? Anyone knows what Sanskriti means? It means culture. Sanskriti means culture. I want you to follow me closely. Do not lose the train of thought. I said the oldest known Homo Sapien is the San nation. The oldest language is Sanskrit. The oldest scripture is the Rig Veda, following all the Vedas. You following? Then in Sanskrit, Sanskriti means culture. Are you following? Then in Sanskrit, San means connection to the highest truth. S-A-N. In Sanskrit, the first language means connection to the highest truth. And Sanskriti means culture. Can you put this together? Can I ask the 4-year-old children to put this together? Prince, I know the San language has a few clicks when you speak in, yes? Can you make this information I gave you click together? Are you understanding? I told you, Prince, you're going to be happy today. Just focus on his dhoti, Hemita, because there's a story behind that dhoti. In 2015, I went to India to my headquarters, which was not to be, because there was a family dispute and the presidential head and spiritual head asked me to come back and preach from the front. And that was a dhoti that I wore in India. That's my first dhoti. And I came straight from the plane. I landed at the airport and I was whisked to my first satsang as Acharya Sham Ramanujan. And today, I see you are wearing that dhoti. I was going to sell it, Prince, because it's supposed to hold a very high value. But I'll have to make another plan. Okay? I'll have to make another plan. So that's the dhoti I was wearing. No time to bath. I landed 6 o'clock. Satsang was 7 o'clock. No jet lag, Prince, no excuse. Guru could do it. If you're flying around and if you are needed, there's no such thing as jet lag. I came from India I came via Emirates. So it's a very long journey and I landed straight in satsang with that dhoti. So that dhoti might have significance for you as well. Remember that dhoti every time you wear it. So I promised Prince that I'm going to make him happy today, and I think evidentially I have confirmed all that he knows about the Sun Nation, and I've interfaced it evidentially. The Vedas are there, the Sanskrit language is there, and this is why your nation is called the San Nation, because of your connection with the highest truth. That is what San means in Sanskrit. There is a language that existed throughout the existence. Creation takes place when the Vedas is actuated. Creation takes place when the Vedas are actuated, and each creation or partial creation only takes place in terms of the Vedas. So I said we already halfway through the main creation, 155 trillion years are gone, and then there's partial creation every 4.320 billion years. That's Lord Brahma's one day in Brahmalok. Scientists are proving now that time is not linear, time is cyclic. So at a certain dimension, in Brahmalok, when 1 year passes, 4.320 billion years elapses on Earth. 4.320 billion years passes on Earth in Brahma's one day. And Brahma's one night, 4.320 billion years passes. You understand? So time is cyclic, and scientists are now adjusting to the verdict, injunctions that time is cyclic. That same 3.11 trillion 40 billion years, when it is measured from Vaikunt to planet Earth, is 1 second of Lord Sriman Narayan. So Prince, you think all your sufferings took so many years, don't you? But this entire creation of 3.11 trillion 40 billion years is just 1 second for Lord Narayan. And maybe that is why he don't get up to help you too much. Because what can he do in his 1 second for you, you understand? But how many lives you've lived in the Lord's 1 second? So I wanted to state something yesterday, but I want to bring it in today because I didn't have enough time. And I just want to mess up with your bright time, so I'll just talk and talk to all of those that came for a braai Nilendri. Hall is full today because somewhere along there was a message that there's a braai at the Sri Narayan Dham. And Prince was absolutely ecstatic. He thought I was fooling him when I said you have to become a vegetarian when you take initiation. When he heard of the word braai, I think Jessica told him braai today, that is why he didn't sleep last night. So on Friday at about 4:05, Sean and myself were looking for spares for our truck. So we phoned a company that we thought had the spare, and Sean was talking to him through the car phone, so I could hear the conversation, or Bluetooth or whatever it is. So Sean asked him what time he closes, and it was 4:05, and he closes at 5. But he told Sean, today Ramzan starts. So see if you can come tomorrow. See if you can come tomorrow. If that was Vasan's spare shop, and Vasan was selling that spares, what do you think he would have said? Although on Vasan's side, Ram Naumi is on, and on Abdul's side, Ramadan is on, what Vasan would say? I'll wait for you. And he would have been so happy that he don't have to come and listen to this boring guru just talking and talking and talking. He rather sell a spare and make a quick buck. And this is why Abdul is so progressive. And I say this with love and respect. Muslims are the most economically progressive religion in the world because they can close their shop on your face. They can close their shop on your face. They do this 5 times a day. And if you think that is not enough, this 40 days of fasting, they do it 100% diligently as well. And this is God reciprocating His grace on Islam. This is God reciprocating His grace on Islam. Because every instruction on prayer, they are there at the mosque. It took me 5 years to build this ashram on my own. A mosque takes 5 months and you don't even know who built it. A mosque takes 5 months and you don't even know who built it. Those of you that are from Durban, Admiral Hotel, how many of you remember? Mama, you were sad when it became a mosque, isn't it? That tells you. That tells you. There's another mosque near Admiral Hotel. You all saw that mosque on the next road, I think is Center Street. There was a prayer that evening, and 3 or 4 of our Muslim brothers saw this ad in the paper that Admiral Hotel is going for sale for 20 million. They just discussed it going into prayer. Prayer lasts 15-20 minutes. When they came out, they were fighting each other because that 20 million was already covered in that 15 minutes of prayer. They didn't even have to go within those that were not in prayer. The more you give, but in Sanatan Dharma, you want to get more and give very little. Get more and give very little. So don't be jealous of Abdul next door. Whatever he has worked for it. If you want to learn loyalty to God, if you want to learn how to be faithful to the Supreme Lord, how to be loyal to the Supreme Lord, and how to be beneficiaries of the Supreme Lord, you must study the worship pattern of those that are following Islam. All of you understand? I know each one of you is feeling 100% guilty within yourself. That is the job of a guru. That is why you have a guru. You see, if a cave was in darkness for 100,000 years, if a cave was in darkness for 100,000 years, and you take a match and light a candle and place it in that cave, will it take 100,000 years for the darkness to leave the cave, or will it be lit instantaneously? Rabbi? So that is the job of a guru. You have been in darkness all your life. When you come here to the satsang, it should not take me the same amount of time that you were in darkness. When I strike the light of knowledge in your ignorance, you should catch it very, very quickly. And at the end of the program, when I ask any questions, all of you should have your hands up and ask me, Acharya ji, when's our next function? When's our next prayers? Don't you think? Don't you think? But we Sanatan Dharmis, as I said, I'm on so many groups. People put me on so many groups. The greatest politicians I was talking to Prince is on those groups. Greatest politicians in South Africa are on those groups. Greatest gurus are on those groups. And if you tell these politicians on that group things they don't like, they'll kill you. They'll delete you. That's how they kill you. And that is our Sanatan Dharmis. You can sit in the car and tell the husband, this person is like this, that person is like that politician is like that, this country is, but they won't take the husband and go put a cross on the ballot paper. Premila, did you ever take your husband and put a cross on the ballot paper? (2024), make sure you take Larry and make him put a cross. And who knows, maybe Guru's face will be there for Premier of KwaZulu Natal. Alright? Make sure you take Larry and put a cross. And if you don't know which political party to put a cross, and if you are confused, then think which political party the Guru belongs to and put a cross in that party. Alright, are there any questions? I'm not seeing hands up to ask when's the next function, and you all are so sad that next week, Thursday, Ram Naumi is going to finish. I don't see any sadness. I see Sita thinking of the bride. Are there any questions? Okay, so have you understood our connection to Prince Hlathikhulu? Is it scientific? Is it legal? When I say legal, scriptures. In the spiritual domain, the legal document is scriptures. And it is so sad that all the scriptures of the San nation has been destroyed by both the white colonialist and the black colonialist. But we have information here and there and in archives, and the Prince and I will sit and try to formulate a formal religious direction for the San people. So there's a lot of work to do. Some of the work we're doing from scratch. We also have to install the 4 deities of the San nation. We have to get murti makers. We have to get the elders to describe how their 4 murtis look. Then we have to get murti makers who will carve these murtis. Then we have to get temples around South Africa for the San nation. We have to use our relationship in actuating the murtis. So we have a beautiful journey ahead. Along this journey, there's going to be a lot of obstacles, because those you have to, for Lord Ram to come down to earth, Prince, Ravana had to be born. If Ravana was not born, Lord Ram would have been enjoying himself with Mother Lakshmi in Vaikunth. So similarly, for our mission to be successful, Ravana's 10 heads will appear here and there and there and here. Alright? But you're not alone. You found your twin brother at the ashram. You all know who Prince's twin brother is? Vasan. And now the prince is fearless because Vasan is the Ravana of the Sri Narayan Dham. And Prince, I just want to tell you that when we were on our tour in India, we found a temple, the only temple on this continent that has a murti of Ravana's sister. Of Ravana's, and guess what you think Vasan did? He stood in front of that murti and insisted we take a photograph. Ask Vishwadhar for that photograph. It's in our archives. Alright? So there's always fun here, Prince. There's always fun at the Sri Narayan Dham. Laughing, joking, talking. I see Satish took advantage of the opportunity that he has a substitute. So he didn't come to satsang today. And he left some of the wakins for you, but since time's up and we all waiting for the bride, Nilendri can't wait. There'll be no wakin, but Guru doesn't delete your wakin. He got a spreadsheet. So you got one wakin in advance for today. I'll use it. I have license to use it any time, any day. Alright? Are there any questions? Any questions? So we'll do Aarti and we'll conclude today's service. Thank you.